Oh, can you see me?
I just,
I think my head is cut off. I'm gonna have to adjust it.
y'all, I feel a little under dress.
Ah!
I feel a little under dress. She's gonna come through with it. Okay. Mm.
Yes, you looking good.
Okay.
Talking about.
Okay, you looking sexy, sexy. Hey y'all. Hey IG. Hey IG.
Hey, I'm ready for this one, girl. They was like, oh, this is a good one.
Y'all feel like this is a good one? Our viewers, y'all feel like this is a good one?
Yeah, I've heard some. Ooh, I've heard some people talking, saying like,
Ooh,
let's see what y'all gonna say.
all right. Okay. Well, go ahead and kick it off.
All right, y'all, we in this. It's your girl Ruby. Welcome.
And it's a girl Naira.
Yes, and I hope you got your mugs because it's about to.
This tea is about to get deep.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's not this time, y'all. I got my tea spiked. All right. So we're talking about how important it is to date and be financially equipped. So I kicked it off the last time, Ruby. I'm gonna let you go ahead and kick it off a little bit this time.
Okay, so let's start. We're gonna start with the question. So the question for tonight was based off of us just talking about how important are finances when dating. And I'll start first. So to me, I believe that finances are important. I'm not going to say it's the top thing, but it's very important because I think in a relationship in general, if you're thinking about dating someone, you should be your best self. So that means financially, you should be top notch, or at least feel your best physically, mentally, all of the above. You should always be coming as your best self. So finances is one of them. You have to be able to support the person. I don't want to say it like that because we're gonna get into a little bit of that later. But you just have, bottom line is you have to be financially stable, in my opinion. What you feeling?
Very true. I definitely finances is important. I feel like if you are not financially equipped, you probably shouldn't be out here dating.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like that's what I'm saying. You can't be out here in these streets trying to spend money, but you on somebody, because that's what it is. To me, dating, and it doesn't have to be a one-sided thing, but dating, it costs. You know what I mean? And then when you even get into going a little bit deeper with the person, you know, you have to, if you're solid and your finances and stable with you, if something were to happen to the other person, then maybe they are not completely where you are, you can support them and be like, all right, babe, I got you. So
That's true. Very true. And I don't want the guys to get it misconstrued as far as like you all constantly paying for a woman. I'm the type of woman where I am going to also come to a date with my money. I'm not even going to have it where it's like, oh, I expect him to pay. Yes, it's nice, but realistically, you might not be financially equipped. So my thing would be, don't ask me to come out to an expensive restaurant and then the way you checking the bill is almost like, who about to pay? You know what I mean? So, or if I have to pay, that's fine. But I just want to I want to feel like, I also want the guys to know that it's not just, right, Louise. It's not just about you all paying the whole thing. So women come to equip, because a lot of times maybe the guys won't have it all, or maybe their card might get declined. So it goes both ways with being financially equipped. Like guys take us out, women, we could treat a little bit too, slide for the tip, you know? So it's just being financially equipped. I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire, but you need to be able to support that habit. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to dating, taking a woman out, that can be considered like a new habit of yours, to just date.
Right. No, that's very true. Ladies, we have, look, I know both of us, we're the type where it's like, you know, we're pretty good. I ain't gonna say too much, but you know, we're pretty good. So it's not always about the guy. Like we don't need y'all to handle stuff all the time. It's not about that, but it's about being comfortable at least where you are financially. So it's like if she needs it or if he needs it, like I got it. Like yeah, we're all still ourselves. We're all trying to get better, of course, but yeah, you gotta at least come. Like you gotta be good.
That's true.
Yeah.
You have to be good. You like, so what about like so what if you're already financially ready, right? So if you're financially stable and the other person is in the process, so how do you go about like pretty much like putting them into your life? Like, are you, if you're already stable and then you meet somebody and it's like they're getting themselves together, are you going to work together, or like, are you
I,
going to be like, oh, he's not really on my level or she's not on my level?
there's a certain level, and I guess I'm trying to figure out how do you weigh something like that. I mean, if we go out on a date, or say you ask me out, right? And I'm like, sure, yeah, yeah I'll, right. I say, okay, cool, we'll go out, and at the day you patting your pockets or you looking at me or whatever. I mean, it's kind of different because you're asking me out. But if I've already decided if I want to date you and like, you know, I am where I am financially and you are where you are, I'm completely here for that person working on themselves and building as we are getting to know each other and like if we're together. I don't know if it's I don't know how people feel about that, but that's how I am. I'm like, because I'm still working on myself. So yeah, if you got a little work to do, I'm all here for the build up because again, I'm not where I need to be. So I'm still building as well and we can build together. I can do that.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave that statement right there.
Huh?
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that statement right there because that's true. Like building together, like it is a thing. I see people commenting. We'll get to them later, but just it's not that we expect you to come full throttle. I don't want that to be the a misconception. Like I don't, or misperception. Like no, it's not that you need to come and you're already ready, but be prepared to date. Be prepared to do whatever it is that you want to do. Just like if you go on a vacation, you're not just gonna go with $3, are you? Like just be prepared. So what about, because this is also a thing too. So we could wait it out and figure it out and grow together. So what if you get, so what if like a guy is coming to you with some, oh, like he's financially equipped, but then it's a whole bamboozle. Like, you know, it's like, oh, he paying for things. He really is showing, he can slide a little something like, no, I got it. He like, oh, put that away. You know what I mean? Like, how you go about that bamboozle? Now you stuck somewhere and it's like, oh, well, I thought you like you had it at first 3 months ago for the whole 3 months. Now you don't have it.
That's dead wrong. And you know, honestly, at this point in my life, I'd probably be like, look, it's done. I just I can't do it. You know, but then when you start factoring in the like for the person or like the love for the person, then it gets tricky. It's like, yeah, I might say that now, but if that were to actually happen, you would most likely be like, oh shit, I'm stuck. Damn, he's broke?
Right. Why he didn't tell me?
Because you're already into this person. Like, if you, because somebody could put on for a long time. Like, they could be taking you out, paying for stuff, you know, doing all this extravagant stuff for, what if it's for a year? Then what? You are falling in love with this person, or you know, you're figuring out that you really like this person. Then now in the second year, now they broke. Now they don't have nothing for themselves. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It gets very complex when you start talking about liking and loving a person and then accepting them for who they are with their finances.
Right. So could that be that maybe that's a reason, and that goes to, let me say, and that goes to both of you all being able to be financially stable in a sense of when you're in a relationship. So if you're financially stable and maybe that person falls off, but you start to see what they really don't have, like the fall clears. Now you can see it and it's like, oh, okay, well, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, I got it. I'll pay for it.
In the long run, or just like a couple dates, or
In the long run, you know, that's coming financially equipped. Like maybe you guys building together, and then and then if one person falls off, but they've been supporting the whole time or enough of the time, we don't want to constantly just say man, but realistically, that's the ideal. Like a man is the supporter. So if a woman also has her money to this side, and it's like, you know what, right now, I know I've talked to a lot of my male friends, and they've said that, you know, oh, well, I need to make sure if I'm as an entrepreneur, a lot of young men are entrepreneurs, right? So they want to feel like, oh, okay, that's up and down, it's different levels to entrepreneurship. Is my woman gonna hold me down? So that's like being financially equipped.
Right.
As far as like just dating someone, being with someone, like making sure that you are on your hustle as far as your finances.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important. I'm a hustler all day, so if you can actually, you know,
Yeah.
if you can hustle and make it known that look, even if y'all get to a point where it's like, all right, we dating, maybe I'm not completely where I need to be, but look, babe, I'm doing this, this, and this. Like communication, you got to be able to communicate what's going on. If you go on a date, it's so many different levels to everything. Like you have to, but I think to me, communication always falls like in the first position of like making things actually work, because you know if they don't really know what's going on, but you're trying to put on this facade of like, oh, I got it, but you don't really got it, or like it could be anything. You just have to be upfront with it and let that person know, but also be comfortable where you are too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Girl, they typing up a story here. We're gonna have to read it. We're gonna get to it in a second. Yeah, we're gonna get to it.
Okay.
So we did the bamboozle one, like if somebody is putting on a facade or whatever, and then so let's talk about. Wait, did you put this one? Do the last one. The last one that we in that section.
Okay, so if you fall for the finance, but you forget that the person is attached to it. So how does that go? Okay, have you ever been in a situation? Let's get to a little piece of a story, okay? A little sip. A little sip. So if you get into a situation, it's like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this guy. He's, you know, he's giving me something that I wasn't getting from the last guy I was dealing with. So, I mean, he's giving me financial stability. He's giving me some structure to his input. Not to say that you're supporting me wholeheartedly, but you're stepping in where maybe the last guy was lacking. Like you're actually saying, no, don't worry about it. I have it. I feel comfortable with going out on a date with you and you have it. And I might just surprise you a little bit and say,
Hello.
frozen.
Uh-oh, you were frozen.
Okay, so what was the last thing you heard? So what was the last thing you heard?
I forgot. Wait, hold up. Cause see, hey, what?
All right. So, okay, so if you're dealing with a guy, y'all, why are they playing me being frozen? So if you're dealing with a guy and it's like, okay, we've gone out, he's giving financial input. How do you go about like now that you're starting to realize who this person is? It's like now you're into it, but okay, financially, yeah, he's giving me what I was lacking with the last guy, but I'm not feeling this person.
Oh yes, got you. I was lost for a second. Like, wait, what were we talking about? The whole frozen thing threw me off. But yes.
So you like that tea?
I
A little drunk and sexy.
But yeah, so it's funny that was the next point, because it made me think about this guy I used to be with. But yeah. And it was very interesting because this guy, initially it was so different from what I was used to, as far as like just being like like you said, maybe back then I know that I don't think I was as comfortable as I am now financially, but I was pretty comfortable back then. And just being able to date someone who I knew had it, if something happened to me or if I needed something, I knew he was going to be there, like no question, 100%. But later on down the line, I started to see like the money actually made him. It made him who he was. It made him a horrible person. I just decided like, damn, I don't even like this person. So that's why in the beginning I said finances are not probably the top thing when dating someone, but it's important. But you just have to, I think for me, I even started to get a little kind of insecure because I knew I was stable. I could do everything I needed to do for myself. But the money he was spending, I was like, I need to step my shit up. Like I don't be wanting to feel like I don't want to feel like I'm broke shit. But yeah, it was an eye opener, and it made me more motivated to pursue my dreams, to make more money, to do, you know, stuff that I think he was actually doing. And he was a motivated person, but he was a shitty person as well. Like he was not, you know what I mean? I found that out as I started to date him. Like, yeah, you might be very good financially, but in other areas you just suck as a person. So
that's disgusting.
yeah.
Because when I think about it, I think about a lot of guys will lead with financial, like it's like it's almost like it's like their pinpoint. Like this guy was saying to me, "Oh yeah, let me he might be on here. Little sip, but he was just like, "Oh yeah, why don't you come over my house, honey? I have my own. Why am I coming over there?
Right.
Oh yeah, well I got money, you know. So do I. I'm telling him about something I have going on. He's like, oh well, don't worry about that. Let daddy pay for it. Who's daddy?
First of all,
Who's
daddy?
I said, boy, who spoiled you? Who spoiled you? I said, because I don't have daddy issues. I think a lot of females that he dealt with, and it could have been guys too, I don't know his life, but I'm just saying, they probably fell for that. I'm not falling for that because now you're leading with your money and you think I'm just supposed to fall in line because you can throw some money around at the bar, or like, what is that really doing? Like for me, I could do that on my own. So for those guys who are leading with your money, make sure that you're really saying something for real. Because that's nothing. Like beyond you talking financially, what is your personality? Mm-hmm. And that boy's personality was so bullheaded that like he thought that I was going to fall for it. I was just like, yo, let me call you back. Like I got something going on. I don't care about your little money. And yes, it's a pandemic. And I can tell you that. I was thanks for a quarter or two, but it's not worth your personality.
Right. And then a lot of times what I found out just from seeing all sides of it, most times the guys that do all this flashy stuff and I got in that, I could pay for this and I could pay for that, they're broke in the bank. Their bank account is empty. It's on zero. Like all the money that they have is in their pocket. So
right.
That's the thing. It's like all this, I mean, you have to balance it out. Like don't go flashing money. Nobody, I mean, unless you dealing with basic as females, I don't know, but that shit is not, it's a turn off to me. Like don't do all of that. Are you frozen again? Oh, I thought you were frozen. You were sitting back there like
no, because I'm just thinking about like I was taking it to a whole nother mental level for the guys. Like they might be like, I can go all day talking about this, y'all. We just try to give it a little snippet as far as like what we feel and everything. However, let's
So you told your one story about the guy. Oh God, I would be so irritated with that. Like, come on now. What? I don't have daddy issues. Why are you trying to be my daddy? Like,
because you have money. Like you feel like you daddy now.
No. We don't do that.
That doesn't go. But I could appreciate, on a positive note, I can appreciate a guy who may not come financially like equipped as far as like abundance. Like you don't have a lot of money, but you're making it work. And when I say that, that goes back to being creative. You know what I mean? Don't take a woman to a restaurant and you can't afford it if she gets dessert. Like you only had it ready for one drink in the meal and you was hoping she really got like a soup and a salad. You know what I mean? Like be financially equipped. Like get creative. Like take her to like a picnic or like a free museum thing where it's wine and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like make a woman feel special, and that's how you can get to the next level. Like don't, you know what I'm saying? If you have money or if you don't. But I knew that the guy didn't have any. money for real.
Right.
But he made me feel special. So he was equipped for dating, but financially, for us to grow together into a partnership, he lacked the motivation. And then he also, it's like he wasn't gonna be motivated to go get more money. Like, you okay with just getting $50 on a Saturday? Like, what? Because you know you can buy me some flowers?
Yeah.
Like, no. So just equip.
So I'm
But
reading some of the comments and
it was that.
agreeing. So one says, I think being financially equipped sounds good, but in reality, a lot of people don't know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That was from my girl Moni O. Okay, what's up, girl? But yes. So what you think? What do you think about that? Yeah, she wrote some other stuff here too, but that was like the main.
Touch it, because I feel like we kind of touched on it. Being financially equipped sounds good, but in reality, a lot of people don't know what that looks like. And I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, just saying like being financially equipped, you're not just giving out money, but like you're come on, Ruby, help me out a little bit.
Oh,
Like,
I was like, girl, I keep thinking your daggone thing is frozen. I'm sorry, because your arm was.
am I looking that frozen? I'm done. I would just leave the whole thing. Just leave the whole thing. Just throw the whole thing away.
No. That I think that statement is very true. I mean, and then it could have different meanings. Being financial, because to me, I work in the financial industry, so being financially equipped can mean something to one person, and it's something completely different to somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
you just have to take it to a deeper level with this part. Like you have to be, to me, being upfront about that early on, and not so early that it's kind of creepy or weird that you're talking about it. But once you decide that this is a person that you actually, want to get to know a little bit more and understand them on a deeper level, you actually really talk about that. And what does that look like for them? Because y'all, like I said, y'all can have two completely different definitions of it. So yes, let's see. It was another one. I saw a good one. Oh, this one. I don't know. I'm trying to see who that was. It says, "Have your stuff together, sir." She pretty much was like, "Nah, come fully equipped or not, or stay gone." So I kind of get that too, because it's like if you're at a place where you worked very hard to be where you are, what you look like getting somebody that's like either they don't have as much as you do, or they are not as motivated as you to get to where to get on your level. I think you are very right. Like if you are at that point where you like, I ain't taking no nonsense, come with it or not, you ain't talking to me. I think that's a good place to be if that's where you feel like you are mentally and financially. Like, do that, sis. Because once I get to a certain, I ain't trying to be all like that, but once I get to a certain place, it's just some things that you don't want to accept because you've been there before. You know what I mean? Like, if you dealt with it and it's like, okay, I've done this and I know how this makes me feel, you're not going to revert back to that. You're going to level up. Like, life is all about leveling up and being a better you, but also like having relationships that benefit you. Like, not benefit in a way like you're using them, but they add to your life and not like they're not a stress point, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. And then I'm also reading one of the comments where it's saying more so about gonna hold my man down. I had this conversation with somebody earlier today, one of my homegirls, and we were talking about when it comes to holding your man down. Now, that goes back to when we were saying, yes, if we've already gotten to a point and we're building a partnership, but we're speaking of dating. When you're dating and you're not financially equipped as far as knowing your limits when you're dating financially. No, I'm not going to hold you down in a dating situation. I can't do it because now you're not equipped to actually be out here dating, to ask a woman out, and you don't have the financial equipment.
Yeah, right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, that's more so where it's coming from, because I think the thing too where it gets misconstrued is I don't want the guys to feel like because I have spoken to a lot of guys who are financially stable or feel like they're at a good level And then they're giving all this to this woman, and what is she giving back? So that's also another thing, is being financially equipped. When we say that, women come for your money too. It's not a thing of, and I want to know from the guys, do you think a woman is being overly aggressive and overly independent if she say, no, I got it this time. Like, I have this round, you know what I mean, of drinks. Like, don't worry about it. This round's on me.
Right.
Do you appreciate that? Or I feel like some guys, like, yeah, I like that. It's cool. It's showing what, but what is it showing? Like, I want to know what the guys think about that. Like, is it overly independent, or is it like, oh, that's sexy? And if it's sexy to you and you like it, why?
I think it's a generation thing. I think a lot of guys who are in our generation, they'll be more receptive to that type of mentality. But I've dated a few older guys, and they're completely different. It's like, what? Pay for what? You better push your, like, they're almost insulted by something, like by you even offering. So that's us millennials, we got some stuff. Like, I think we just have a different mentality overall, but especially when it comes to that, like, I think that ties into, like,
Oh,
sorry, hello?
Yeah, like, oh.
Was I paused? Sorry. Oops. Leave me alone, people. I'm on live. What's going on here? I forgot.
Tune in. Call in. Tune in. Ain't no radio station.
Call in. We pause right now. But yeah, that's what I was saying. But pretty much, I just think it comes down to our generation. Like, I think 35 and up, they're not having that. You know, maybe later on down the line, if you like, okay, babe, I got this one, they'll accept it more. But yeah, I prefer that. I prefer to have to offer to pay for something than to be almost asked, or like almost like, oh, you paying for this, and you ask me out. Like, I don't know. What you doing?
Not funny. I need balance, baby. Yes.
You reading in the comments?
I am in the comments.
But yeah,
because people are in here when it comes to finances, and people are like, no. I see a lot of guys saying, like, I see one comment, like a viewer saying, like, if I held it down for 3 months, why, you know, like, why can't you? You should have enough money saved up. I'm seeing, love isn't enough. Neither is money. I need balance, baby. Honey, yes, that too. Y'all need mental support, not financial. That's true. Very, very true. But finances, you know, that's just the goal today, because I feel like that's a lot of conversation. Like, what are your expectations?
So this is just something that's on my mind. I think I touched on it a little bit. So if people go have the mindset of, when you start dating someone, you should be coming as your full self. Like, right? Like, you should be coming as your best self, so that on all levels, you're not lacking. Like, to me, forget dating, just in general, I wouldn't be my best self. So I'm not going to go out here and try to find a man, or I ain't look for a man anyway, but I'm not going to go out here and try to, you know, get to know someone if I'm lacking in any area. I'm just not doing that, because, you know, like, it doesn't feel good, and you almost are expecting this other person to fill a void that's not their job. Like, it's not their job to fill any of those voids that you have from past situations, or even current stuff that you're going through. So just come as y'all full self. Like, don't be out here expecting nothing really from anyone. I think, like, for me, I'm all to courting and being treated like a lady and all this stuff. So I like that part of it. But again, I'm never going to come out or try to date someone and be involved and I'm not completely good. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, you can't win doing it like that, I don't think.
Right. You really can't. And I was just thinking, like, if you get beyond dating and you get to marriage, like, finances is the number one thing for divorce. You know what I mean? So it's the thing of, okay, yes, you're triggering a different emotion, like how you were saying, like, if I'm holding you down, because someone posted in here, holding him down will hold you down. Like, will hold you down, hold you back. So it's like,
Okay.
if you're holding somebody, and that goes for a man or a woman, like if you're constantly putting out, and you're not receiving anything in return, it can be stressful. It can be something where it breaks the relationship, or you feel like this person owe me now. Like, you feel like I'm supporting you so much, like you owe me.
Yeah.
Statement. Because that's true. Like, it's a whole nother mental, it leads to a whole nother mental frustration, like a mental setback too.
So I'm gonna read this one because it's interesting to me. I wanna let y'all know how I feel about this, because I think y'all are kind of misunderstanding what we're saying, like on the macro level of it. It's like, so this one comment says, my full self doesn't mean I'm paying for you. Like, that's not part of your best self. That's something material. It's not you. So initially when I read it, I'm like, we're not saying that's your full self. Your responsibility is to pay for us on a date, or pay for us if we need you to, I don't know, if we need our freaking tires changed, fixed, or some shit like that. We're not saying that. We're saying that just as a complete being, as a complete whole person, you should be your best self. Now, if you are literally like, if you're contacting me or DMing me or messaging me or whatever the case may be to take me out to get to know me, I didn't bother you. You bothering me. Like, you should be
Right.
you know what I mean? You should be able to come into this situation where it's like, I need to, and it doesn't always come down to the money as far as like paying for everything per se. But if we go out on a date, you ask me on a date. So I'm not going to come out on a date with you and pull out my money to pay for the entire bill. What type of not doing that? So that's not what we're saying. We're not saying, you know, come into a relationship or come into dating someone and expect to pay for every goddamn thing. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, like, you know, just make sure that if y'all decide to take it to a higher level or a deeper level, that you are in a situation where, say y'all get a place together, or say you dating this person, you're like, all right, babe, let's take it to the next level. I want to live with you. I want to be with you, or whatever. Y'all getting to the place and your finances are not paying, cannot pay the bills. How does that look? You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're more so talking about. It's not like in the dating stages. Like, once, I think too, because I don't have an issue with paying. Like, once I figure out I like you, I'm like, hold on, babe, I got you. Like, I got it. Matter of fact, I might even call you and be like, let's go somewhere. Let's go such and such a place. And I'll take care of the whole thing. But you just have to, like I said, but that's just me. And I also will not come into a situation where I'm not able to do that, because it's not a one-sided.
Right. Yeah. It's really not. Like, you hit it on the head, Ruby. Like, and on that note, we're going to take it to some positivity, honey, because I feel like the people that kind of feel like finances, we could go all day. We could tell you the experience. But what we're saying is exactly what Ruby is saying. It's just, how do you build financially? Mm-hmm. How do you come into a dating situation? Because once again, we're talking about dating in our 20s. You know, how do you come into that and be financially stable?
Yeah.
So if we're going to take it to the positivity, honey, let's just say date someone who has as much as you do, if not more. My mother has told me that time and time again, and it's very accurate, because now you're not pulling onto that stress. And I can say that for the men too, if that's how you feel. If you feel like you don't want to be that man who is supporting your woman, whatever, go into, and a lot of guys do that too, go into a date someone that's on your level financially, and then you all can grow together. But if you feel like you got to pull somebody else up by the boots, then don't do it. You don't have to. Don't do it. Right. And then complain about it. What?
Yeah.
What's the number?
Oh. You huh? All right. So another one is, don't rely on another person's finances. Yeah. Period. That's almost as simple as that. Like, have a breaking point pretty much of what you are willing to deal with. Like, you may not be, because I thought about this too before. You may come in and they may be comfortable where they are, but maybe once they start talking to you, you kind of motivate them to do better, or get a little bit more money. So it's nothing wrong with that, but just knowing, like, what you're willing to deal with, and just watching how they move, kind of see like if they're trying to actually build something with you too, or they're like on a completely different level, like I'm just here for the moment and that's just what I am and I don't really care about it. So you just have to kind of navigate through that and like understand what you're feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I kind of touched on both. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Just like inspire that person too.
Huh?
Like inspiring somebody, like inspiring to them, like how when you were saying like that person was able to inspire you to get your finances together. Like if you feel like you do want to get involved with somebody and maybe they fall down financially, and that goes beyond just dating for 2 or 3 dates. But if you're dating exclusively, you guys are growing towards something, be able to kind of just support them, be that support system, and just kind of guide them. Like, are you leading by example? Like, how are you guiding them? Inspire them, like, you know, because no, we're not all financially stable, but come equipped. That's the whole thing. Just come equipped.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get?
Yeah. And the last thing I'm gonna say about it is that like the inspiration thing. I'm from being in the artist world and the entertainment type of industry type thing. There are ups and downs always. There always, you never know what's happening, when it's happening, if you're going to work or if you're not. So I mean, I have a 9 to 5 too, but that's besides the point. Just being a creative and knowing how much that fluctuates. I'm very much into dating a fellow creative. So it's like for me, that's why it's a little bit more acceptable. Like, oh, I see you doing your thing. Okay, me too. Like, we still trying to, get to where we're going to be. So you, don't take anything less than what you're actually willing to deal with. That's the big of it. But
Exactly.
I feel, ooh, this is a good one. I'm glad we chose this one. We didn't do the votes this week because we were just like, let's just decide on a topic. Let's just do one that we think is gonna pop. And I really like this topic because it's important. Money is one of the main things that can break somebody up or they break up marriage. It breaks up marriages. It breaks up relationships all the time. I think it's a very important topic to kind of touch on.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. So on that note, we enjoyed y'all.
Yeah.
I hope y'all had sympathy. I see y'all was flooding in with them comments. We couldn't stop and read them all like we usually would. But definitely enjoyed the conversation. Wish it could go on longer because it's so many different avenues to it. We just wanted to tell you all what we thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. We missed some in the comments. There was some good stuff in here. Dang.
Go ahead, read. Go ahead.
I gotta read this one because it's interesting. So they were saying this is more so on a relationship tip. When you live together, who pays for what or what percentage?
That's a whole nother level though. That's a whole we talk about dating.
Girl, I know. All right.
Go ahead, take it away. Take it away, honey. You want it
real quick because I've lived with people before, whatever. So to me, I'm all for when it comes to the rent or mortgage, whatever you want to say, that should be half and half. I think, in my opinion, it should be split half and half. You pay your half, you pay your half, I pay mine. When it comes to utilities, food, all of that stuff, I'm willing to take either side. Either I'm paying for the utilities every month and you're handling the food and like all the extracurricular stuff, or vice versa to me. And I'm all for that because I'm like I said, I mean, I'm good. So we good. You can do your half. I do my half. Cool. Perfect. Now, if you get into, or maybe get into a better financial situation than I am. Now I'm like, okay, I'm a little, you want to step it up a little bit. Or if it's the other way around, maybe I start making a little bit more. I'm like, it's a give and take thing. I don't mind that. I don't mind being like 50-50 or like taking care of shit when it needs to be taken care of. But yeah, I know you've never really been in a living situation with anyone necessarily, but I'm
saying that long, child.
So, but what do you think? How do you think you would go about it if you were to be in a situation? What is your like? Okay, you got a man, y'all moving together. How do you handle the bills?
Definitely. I mean, What? Is he my husband? Like, is he my husband or he's just my boyfriend? Because we're not getting a joint account. So we're splitting it.
I don't do joint accounts now.
Okay. Because okay, so we would just split it down the middle, but I mean it wouldn't be a thing of where he's moving into my house or I'm moving into his house. We would have to get our own place together. And for me it's just I wait, what? Like
Yeah.
but we would split it down the middle.
Right.
Like
Yeah, same with me. I don't mind splitting it. I've talked to some women who they're like, what? The man is supposed to pay the entire rent. I'm supposed to take care of the food and stuff like that, but they got the rent and all the utilities. I've heard that before.
But nah, because what if the man fall down on his luck? Like what you have now, like you don't have that. Like, come on now, get into it. Like
Oh, somebody
that.
splitting down the middle is roommates.
That's
It's roommates. I'm dead. But hey, elaborate because why so? Why? So you think a man should pay for everything?
like roommates.
I want to know. Y'all tell me, because I want to know how. So you moving? So y'all are not married yet. Y'all are just, I guess, y'all are boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all are, partners. How do you go about the bills? He can pay for the rent. I think when you're married, you're a team. See, it's different. I don't know.
Fellas, chime in. What y'all think? Like,
He can
you can pay utilities and food.
and
Okay.
you can pay. Okay, he can pay for rent. You can.
Y'all living together. Wait, are we supposed to live together so that he can pay the rent or mortgage?
As roommates or potential marriage. All right, y'all. I'm lost. I don't know, cause I'm like,
Because you can live together because you want to grow with this person. Because remember, you're supposed to be getting into it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be with your partner, so it's a partnership. You know what I mean? Don't like. I wouldn't want my man to take on the full burden unless he's like, babe, no, really, I got this. But if we're growing together and we know that's what we're doing, it depends on like it's saying, it's levels. Like it's different levels to it. Like I'm not just gonna be like, oh, he gotta pay for everything because that only makes sense. No, like if we're growing together now, if you already way above me, so you're setting the standards for later. So you're saying, but what do you mean?
nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just my opinion. I think that if y'all understand, and you have a man who genuinely loves you for who you are and understands what type of woman you are, it's like eventually if he gets it and he's capable of paying the full rent and maybe even paying for everything. So you might be the housewife type that we just want to sit home. I'm not that type. Like I love to do for myself and I love to be able to do that. But if the man can be like, look, babe, I got it. Like I don't need you, even though I know you can. Nah, I'm good. Like that's the type of shit that I like. Like, come on. Show me, you know what I mean? Like then I can accept it more instead of just being like, no, we're paying half. This is or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Let's see if he start paying half.
I do have a guy in here saying that he paid the rent, but when he was living with his woman, and then she paid. I personally took the rent, car insurance, and she had the groceries, phone, and cable.
So
That's
he can't afford you. Little mama, she like, no, F that. If he don't got it, he don't got it. He don't need to be what you said. So, but you gotta think, and yummy cocaine, baby. You gotta think about in context, right? We're talking about different situations. So, if you are the type of person who you don't want a man who's not financially able to do that for you, that's perfectly fine. I think that's okay for your situation. But even on different levels, it's like if you're the type that's like, all right, my man is here, I love him, you know what I'm saying, we've been together, I know he don't got it all together, I don't have it all together, so we're going to work together to pay for the rent, we're going to work together to make sure everything is handled in our household because we're deciding to live together as a couple, you know what I mean? Like it's not, I think we're talking about two different types of situations, And I think your viewpoint is okay, because it's like, if you come in into, you're not dating guys who don't have what you need them to have, or financially or whatever. So you have a different outlook on it. And so I agree with you on that point. If that's where you are, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's perfectly okay. But in those other situations where it's like, I'm in a struggling, not even struggling, but I'm in a position where I'm not my best self right now. I'm not financially. I know that if he asked me to go on a trip, or not even that, it could be anything, you're not completely there, and you understand that he's not either, then it's like, you know, all right, cool. We can work on this shit together. We can get to where we need to be. And then, but if that's what I was saying about him being the man part, if he's like a man that knows, like, damn, eventually I want to be the provider. I want to make sure I can handle everything with my man. I mean, with my woman. Then it's like, all right, when he gets to that level, he ain't gonna have no problems with it. It's gonna be like, all right, babe, I got you. Like, ain't no question.
Right. Definitely depends on the situation and the man. She's saying, as far as I'm saying, the settling mentality. Not that settling mentality, definitely not. You know, we on the same level when it comes to that. Like, we just got to be more realistic. I feel like my angle for it is being realistic. And look, y'all done got me. I done poured up my last squabble of tea. You know, yes, men provide and protect, but being realistic, you know, it has changed. And the more we sit here and say a man's supposed to do this, a woman's supposed to do this, we're going to both be losing when it comes to our generation and dating. How are we going to come out of what was dating back in the day?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, how chivalrous are women being? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, oh, we need to switch roles, but how are our roles coinciding? Like, I mean, if the man opens the door, like, are you reaching over to open his once you get in the car? Like, you know what I mean? And I know guys who don't like that. Like, I mean, they don't like that, you know? So it just depends on the type of man that you get with. Like, have been bamboozled. Okay. But it just depends on the type of man that you're dealing with, because even like one of our viewers posted that she wanted to contribute, right? But he took charge as the man. So it depends on that man and that woman and their relationship. It depends on how y'all want to grow together.
Right.
So dump him. But it definitely depends, because I mean, I'm not gonna be with a guy who's like, can you pay this? No, I'm not. No, come on now. We supposed to be a partnership. I can be in a partnership with you, but I'm also not going to dumb down how I want my man to be. I'm just being open to the reality of dating today.
Yeah. And again, it's just positional. I think where you are when you are in your life, where you are in your life. And we're talking about dating in our 20s. And, you know, we winding down to the end. We about to hit 30 in a minute. So it's like, I know that now I would not necessarily accept anymore that I would have accepted when I was 21 or 22 or maybe even 25. It's a little different. So sis, I understand what you're saying. She's hard on it. She like, no, fuck that. She like, no.
That's because we had earlier today. That's why she's getting into it. No, y'all, I literally, the viewer that is going in right now, like, we were literally talking, y'all, we are so over. But I'm gonna tell y'all this last little bit. And I was telling her, like, yeah, I went on a date. This guy was so cool. Oh my God, it was cute. Like, I was like, you know, so he, you know, I told him, like, oh, let me get this. And he was like, nah, I got it. And then he was like, oh, well, he had everything, but I wound up paying for the hookah because he wasn't around at the time. So she was like, oh no, you let these guys pay for the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't mind letting him know, like, you don't have to pay the whole thing. And I get it, because maybe I could have sat more in my feminine ways. But I also want you to know that if we do decide to go beyond this, it's a partnership. You weren't here at this moment. I'm not going to sit here and wait. wait, hold on, waitress. He coming back. He going to pay for it. No, I'll pay for it. He's going to pay for everything else. He has the whole night, but it's just, so that's why she tuned in. That was the conversation earlier, y'all. Like, you know, holding them down.
This is
a
really good talk, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm still into it. Like, what? Maybe I have to rethink what I got going.
Right, it could be all day, this conversation, honey, but I don't have any tea left.
Girl,
in my pot.
My tea is empty.
If she really had tea in it. But It's been so fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Latecomers, thank you for peeking in. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Yeah. Next Friday.